Welcome to my channel. If you like what you are listening to, please like and subscribe. The last thing I remember was the gnawing hunger, the cold concrete against my cheek, and the betrayal burning hotter than any fever. My own team, the people I'd trusted with my life, had taken everything for a crate of stale biscuits. My lover, Fang, I never got to tell him about the baby. The grief swallowed me, and then, darkness. I woke up gasping in my penthouse bed, the silk sheets tangled around my legs. The digital clock blazed, June 15th. I had 3 months before the world ended. My name is Kai, I am 25, and I have just been reborn. The first thing I did was clutch the worn, silver thumb ring on my right hand. My grandfather's final gift, muttered about with stories of family legacy. I'd always thought it was a quaint trinket. Now, I focused, and my consciousness slipped into a grey, mist-bounded space. 20 square meters. Empty. But in my past life, I'd learned its secret too late. It hungered for jade. I sold my tech company in a whirlwind of ruthless negotiation. $100 billion landed in accounts across the globe. Then, I spent $10 million of it on raw, uncut jade. I filled a warehouse with it, laid my hands on the cool stone, and felt the ring grow warm. The space shuddered and expanded. Grey mists rolled back like a retreating tide, revealing not a room, but a realm. Over 20,000 square meters of pristine, fertile land under a soft, perpetual twilight. More than 4 football fields. A world of my own. And with the space, my powers returned in a rush that left me breathless, a triple threat symphony in my veins, the crackle of lightning in my palms, the comforting flow of water at my fingertips, and the dormant, banked heat of fire in my core. My memories were poisonous as well. Fang. His smile, his steady hands, the way his eyes crinkled. I saw him again, in that other timeline, receiving the news of my death, and the pregnancy. They said he died of a broken heart a week later. Leader of the Hope Base, felled by grief. Not this time. I became a ghost in the global markets. I spent $1 billion on supplies, mountains of canned goods, pre-made foods, instant foods, snacks, water, seeds, medical equipment, generators, fuel. I bought livestock, chickens, goats, rabbits, cows, and ducks, and ushered them into the verdant grass of my ring space. I even got a few different types of dogs and cats as well. I acquired $250 million in gold bars, the ultimate hard currency. And yes, I enjoyed one last, glorious day of zero-gravity shopping in our capital city. A month before the outbreak, I moved to the remote, mountainous region where Hope Base would one day stand. I lived in a fortified cabin, watching through binoculars as the first military convoys, led by a man with a stern, weary face, arrived to begin construction. My Fang. When the dead began to walk, I emerged. I didn't reveal the ring, not yet. But I offered my power. I stood by the nascent trench lines and summoned clean, fresh water for the parched workers. I saw Fang notice me, a curious glint in his dark eyes. As the base's skeleton rose, I made my move. I located a massive supply cache. I traded over 4 years' worth of food and medicine, enough for 10,000 souls, to the fledgling base. The gratitude was overwhelming. To me, it was less than a dent in my reserves. To them, it was survival. One evening, I offered Fang a canteen of water from my private spring within the ring space, water subtly infused with the energy of the jade. He drank, coughed, and his eyes flew open, swirling with shadows and embers. Dark and fire. He stared at his hands, where inky tendrils and small flames danced, then looked at me with awe and a question he was too shy to voice. We were 2 shy men orbiting each other, bound by a past he couldn't remember and a future I was desperate to secure. The night the final wall of Hope Base was sealed, there was a celebration. Rice wine, laughter born of relief. We found ourselves alone on the watchtower, and the words we couldn't say were spoken in touches, in quiet sighs under the cold, starry sky. And in the warmth of my cabin afterward, a new life was kindled. When I told him, his stern commander's face did something beautiful. It softened, then crumpled with emotion. I will keep you safe. Both of you, he vowed, his voice thick. He was a man of his word. Within 3 months, we held a small, quiet ceremony in the base's mess hall, now a chapel. My military-trained lover, ever practical and devastatingly romantic, slipped a ring on my finger, a massive, deep blue 15-carat sapphire, flanked by fiery red rubies. My birthstone, so you'll always carry my promise with you, he said. The base grew. Refugees streamed in, sorted into repurposed apartment blocks. The zombies followed, a relentless tide. But with the danger came awakening. More people manifested abilities. My old team arrived, a unit of 8 without me this time. I felt a cold satisfaction watching them take orders, not give them. Fang and I led together, a balance of his tactical discipline and my compassionate, future-knowing foresight. Our sons, Yang and Ying, were born via a carefully planned C-section in my well-stocked medical bay within the ring. Their cries were the sound of a future I'd fought for. As they grew, so did Hope Base, swelling to over 20,000 souls. For 2 years, we fought. Side by side on the walls, my water and lightning complementing his shadows and flame. I reached what we called level 12, he was a formidable level 10. We were parents by night, commanders by day, and I loved the quiet, steady engine of it all. Then, the warning came. Refugees from a fallen base 63 kilometers west spoke in hushed terror of a zombie king, an intelligent horror leading a horde our way. The final fight was coming. I drilled the power teams relentlessly. Fang organized the civilians, turning cooks and clerks into an efficient support corps for first aid and supply lines. For 3 months, we prepared. The horde arrived on a foggy dawn. For 3 days, the battle raged. The king didn't show himself, letting his minions test our walls. On the 3rd day, as morale wavered, he emerged, a towering, silent figure with eyes like polished coal, standing at the rear of the swarm. Fang and I looked at each other. Our sons, nearly 4, were safe with Lao Jiang, Fang's old mentor and their adopted grandfather. We had a plan, a desperate one. We stepped outside the main gate, just the 2 of us. Ready? Fang asked, his hand finding mine. Shadows coiled around his free arm. For anything, I said, lightning arcing between my fingers. We didn't fight the king head-on. We baited him. I used torrents of water to carve a path. Fang used his darkness to disorient and veil. We led him on a chase, a deadly dance away from the walls. For 6 brutal hours, we harried and wounded him, until finally, we cornered him in a rocky defile. Now, Fang roared. He unleashed his entire reservoir of dark power, not to attack, but to create, a swirling, silent vortex of absolute void, a pocket of nothingness torn from the fabric of space itself. With a final, combined surge of my lightning and his fire, we blasted the zombie king off his feet and into the waiting abyss. Fang snapped the void shut. The silence was deafening. On the walls, a cheer went up as the leaderless horde began to scatter and fall. The cleanup took 6 months. The people of our country, united as never before. Hope Base became the beating heart of the reclamation. We rebuilt, but scars remained, both on the land and in our souls. Some things, like the quiet trust in my husband's touch or the laughter of our sons playing in a world without monsters, were more precious for the darkness we'd endured. I am Kai. I was given a second chance. I built a sanctuary, found a love that transcends time, and helped forge a future from the ashes. The ring on my thumb is no longer just a space. It's a home, a legacy, and a reminder that even in the end of the world, hope can be a thing you choose to build, with your own 2 hands and a heart brave enough to love again. Thank you for watching my second video. If you enjoyed what you listened to, please subscribe. If you would like me to do a complete series on this, please comment below.